Welcome, welcome, welcome to my mushroom growing journey so I can produce protein rich food for my family and reduce my grocery bill. All right, it is Wednesday, February 12th. Just checking on the buckets, and these are the 3 buckets from the first batch, and no pinning here. So I'm gonna cover them back up, spray it down first, and we'll check again tomorrow. And these are the 5-pound buckets, and no pinning here either. And this is the bucket that fruited. So we're going to go ahead and harvest these today. So that's one of the mushrooms. And this is the second one. Third. Fourth. My alien mushrooms. And the 5th. So we're going to go ahead and pick those, and we'll see what the weight of this harvest is. All right, so we have a total of 3.5 ounces. And a close-up look on some of them. So these are what they look like. Again, they didn't grow as a cluster, but they still grew, and again, everything is edible. All right, and this bucket is the second bucket from the second batch, S2. So this pinned yesterday, and this is a one night of growth that we have here. All right, the mushroom is covered up. I will turn the humidifier on, and we will get back to it, to be continued per usual. It is Thursday, February 13th, and just checking back in on the logs. So we don't have any pinning on these 3 buckets here. I'll spray them down, cover them back up. All right, same with these buckets, no pinning on the 2 5-pound buckets. And this is S2, so we got some good growth. I'm gonna leave it another day. I have been picking the ones that aren't growing as clusters quicker, but I'll leave this one more day and see if it gets any bigger. Friday, February 14th, no change from batch 1. And I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but something that I did with batch 1 that I corrected with batch 2 is that I went ahead and took off the tape on all of the holes. So I realized it wasn't good to do that, because then the buckets tend to dry out because of it, because you have moisture that can seep through all of those openings. So I was able to correct with the next batch. So that's just, so if you're looking at this, just know I would suggest only taking off the tape where you see pinning, and then leave the other holes still closed. So you see what I'm talking about here with the 5-pound buckets from the second batch. So you see all of the holes, except for where there was pinning here, are closed. So then it's also easier to keep track of where pinning occurred. And again, for these buckets, no new pinning. This is the S2 bucket, so we're going to go ahead and harvest today, and we'll see how much it weighs. All right, and I think this is small enough for me to harvest with one hand. Twist it. All right, and we are weighing in out the scale. All right. .4 ounces. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these to the batch that I'm boiling. So all the mushrooms that I have harvested so far will all have been cooked. Okay, so that's that. So I'm gonna give a prediction. I think S1 is gonna pin next. In checking all of the buckets, S1 to me is where you have some of the covered holes that are protruding a bit. So like this one here. So I want to say it's going to pin next. So we'll see if I am right. Stay tuned.